Nick Caserio is not yet done building the roster for the Houston Texans. Over the past week and a half, he's brought in 3 edge rushers to play on the opposite side of Jonathan Gennard. Each and every single one of these guys I can see at one point starting for the Houston Texans. They could get to the QB. They're very good against the run. They are all 3 at different stages in their career, right? You have the veteran, the guy who you just signed today, and Jerry Hughes, who is going to most likely end his career in his hometown in Houston. Spent the last 9 seasons with the Bills, with the Buffalo Mafia. You know, a guy who is purely here for the locker room, coaching the young guys, putting the high value rookies that we spend a lot of, high draft capital on, putting them on Lovie Smith's and Nick Caserio's culture that they've been wanting to build, ever since they've been here. I do like that he's able to coach the young guys. When you talk about a young third year promising edge rusher like Jonathan Gennard, you want him to be taken under the wing of Jerry Hughes. Not only that, when you talk about his play on Sunday, Jerry Hughes is still very consistent at getting to the QB. You're not asking him to play 70 or 60% of the downs of the defense. You're asking him at some point, put some pressure on the QB, wreak some havoc, open it up for other players, because that's something that Jerry Hughes has been doing his whole career. Really ran off at the beginning, right? Had that 2 back-to-back 10-sack seasons for the Bills when he just got there, but since then has been around the 3 to 6-sack guy during the season. But it's very consistent at getting to the, very consistent at putting pressure on the QB. And this is a veteran move by the Houston Texans. I like it. And then you bring in, a guy who played with Jerry Hughes the past couple years, and that is Mario Addison. I actually asked, the Houston Texans 2 years ago to bring him in when he was coming off his 9.5-sack campaign with the Carolina Panthers. Mario Addison exactly fits the type of, edge rusher that Lovie Smith wants on this defense. This is a guy who, if you want to start on day one, you can. He is coming off of 7 sacks. He is very consistent at getting to the QB. He is very consistent at stopping the run. However, this is not, your starter for the whole year. This is a rotational guy. Mario Addison, at this point in his career, is a guy who you could rotate, is a guy who you bring in to coach the young guys, to coach the locker room. And at one point, when you need to call his number to get to the QB, Mario Addison is definitely a guy who could be, who could go in there and do that for this Houston Texans defensive line. These two, why I like them is they're guys who could be still very productive on Sundays, and Mario Addison and Jerry Hughes. And just the fact that they could coach, this young team, because the Houston Texans are going to become a young team. There's only 8 guys who are going to be on contract for the Houston Texans in the next 2 years. We need to start building the foundation of the culture for the Houston Texans locker room so that we could be a successful team in the future. And then you ended off with Rashod Green, who was one of the first pass rushers that you brought in. He is coming off a 7-sack season with the Seattle Seahawks. He is only 24 years old. This is your potential diamond in the rough. This is why I also like the signing of Mario Addison and Jerry Hughes, because they're going to, take Rashod Green under their wing, and this could be your potential edge rusher on the opposite side of Jonathan Gennard. He just needs a lot of more playing time. This is your Jacob Martin replacement. I could potentially see Rashod Green playing multiple seasons for the Houston Texans. Just the fact that he's 24 years old. This is a contract year for him. He is coming off, like I said, off a 7-sack season. Can he replicate that? Can he prove to Nick Caserio that he could be there for the long term, learn under these veterans, and then next year just absolutely take off with Jonathan Gennard? I am excited for these new additions along the defensive line. However, let me know what you think. As always, go Texans. You guys have a very blessed day.